Welcome back to Wealth Signal. I'm Alex Carter, and what I'm about to share with you today might be the most important valuation story of 2026. SpaceX is finally going public, and the price tag will shock you. SpaceX is going public, June 12th. The biggest IPO in human history. The valuation? Somewhere between $1.75 and $2 trillion, and people are losing their minds to get a piece of it. But here's what nobody's actually doing, sitting down with the real numbers and asking the one question that matters. Does this make any... I love SpaceX as a company. I genuinely do. Rockets, Starlink, data centers in space, vertical integration, all of it. Incredible. But love and valuation are two very different things. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what $2 trillion buys you elsewhere in the market right now, because the comparison is shocking. If you're serious about understanding where real value lives in this market, hit that subscribe button and the bell, because this is exactly the kind of analysis we do here every single week. Let's start with SpaceX itself, because for the first time ever, we actually have the numbers. They filed their S-1 with the SEC on May 20th, so let's look at what's actually inside. 3 revenue segments. Total 2025 revenue, $18.7 billion. Up 33% year over year. Connectivity, that's Starlink, $11.4 billion. That's 61% of everything they make. Space, launches and development, around $4 billion. AI, the new XAI data center business, $3.2 billion. Sounds good, right? Now here's where it gets complicated. AI revenue in 2025, $3.2 billion. AI capex in 2025, $12.7 billion. They spent 4 times what they made. On data centers alone, that's not a business yet, that's a bet. And here's the kicker. In May 2026, SpaceX signed a cloud services agreement with Anthropic. Yes, the AI research company. Anthropic agreed to pay $1.25 billion per month through May 2029. That's $15 billion a year. More than their entire 2025 revenue from connectivity. So yes, the AI story is real. It's growing fast. And if they land more deals like that, the revenue trajectory changes completely. But here's the bottom line you need to understand right now. Net income in 2025, negative $4.94 billion. A loss. Not a profit. A loss. Accumulated deficit, $41.3 billion. And the market wants to value this company at $2 trillion. One more thing from that filing, and this one I genuinely couldn't believe when I read it. In January 2026, SpaceX's board approved giving Elon Musk 1 billion performance-based restricted shares of Class B stock. Those shares vest when 2 conditions are met: specific market cap milestones, and the establishment of a permanent human colony on Mars with at least 1 million inhabitants. You read that right. You need 1 million people living on Mars for those shares to fully vest. Incredible vision, but that's a very long holding period. Now here's the part that actually blew my mind. I started looking at what else you could buy with roughly $2 trillion in the public markets right now. And the answer is some of the greatest businesses ever built by humans, generating hundreds of billions in real revenue, real profit. Real cash flow. Let's go through them. Amazon, $2.8 trillion market cap. $742 billion in revenue over the last 12 months. Let that number sink in. $742 billion. Net income, over $90 billion. AWS, advertising, Prime. One of the most diversified cash machines ever assembled. Yes, it costs more than $2 trillion. But you're buying a proven empire, not a projection. Meta, $1.5 trillion market cap. $214 billion in revenue. $70.5 billion in net income. 3 billion people use their products every single day. 3 billion. And you can own the whole thing for $500 billion less than SpaceX's asking price. Broadcom, $1.9 trillion market cap. $68.2 billion in revenue, $25 billion in net income. The quiet infrastructure giant behind AI, cloud, and networking. Less exciting than rockets, far more profitable. And it costs less than SpaceX. Now let's talk about what $2 trillion can buy you when you break it apart. AMD has a market cap of around $760 billion. That means for the price of one SpaceX, you could buy 2 full AMDs. 2 AMDs gives you roughly $80 billion in combined revenue, and close to $10 billion in net income, from 2 companies that are actually profitable today. Comment prompt. Drop a comment below. Would you rather own SpaceX at $2 trillion or 2 AMDs? I'm genuinely curious. Want to go even further? Shopify trades at $185 billion. That's 10 Shopifys for the price of one SpaceX. 10 Shopifys gives you $123 billion in combined revenue, $13.3 billion in net income. Or how about Mercado Libre, the Amazon of Latin America, at $84 billion market cap? That's almost 20 of them for one SpaceX. Nearly $64 billion in revenue combined, almost $40 billion in net income. And then there's the 2 biggest names in the room. Nvidia, $5.2 trillion, $253 billion in revenue, $159 billion in net income over the last 12 months. Alphabet, $4.6 trillion, $422 billion in revenue, $160 billion in net income. These 2 companies, even sliced to reach a $2 trillion valuation, would still represent some of the most profitable businesses ever created. And you're being asked to pay the same price for a company that lost $5 billion last year. Here's the pattern that almost nobody talks about. IPOs correct, almost every single time. You know why? Because the people who invested in the private market, they've been waiting years for this moment. The lockup period is 90 days. After that, they can sell. And they will sell. At prices that seem impossible today. Think about it this way. In December 2025, just 6 months ago, SpaceX shares were trading in private markets at a valuation of around $800 billion. Today they want $2 trillion. That's a 2.5x jump in under 6 months. Did the business change that dramatically? The revenue went up 33%. Great, but the valuation went up 150%. That gap between business performance and market excitement, that's where investors get hurt. Now, I'm not saying SpaceX is a bad company, far from it. The Anthropic deal alone could transform the AI revenue line within 12 months. Starlink keeps growing, 10.3 million subscribers and climbing. Data centers in orbit are a genuine trillion-dollar idea. But great company and right price are 2 completely different things. If this drops 40% after the 90-day lockup, which I think is genuinely possible, then you'd be buying the same incredible business at $1.2 trillion instead of $2 trillion. That's the trade I'd wait for. So let me bring this all together. SpaceX is a genuinely extraordinary company. The vision is real. The technology is real. The growth is real. But the market is pricing in a future that hasn't happened yet, and asking you to pay for it today. Meanwhile, Amazon is printing $90 billion a year in profit. Meta is printing $70 billion. Nvidia is printing $159 billion. These aren't boring companies. These are the most dominant businesses in history. And right now, relative to SpaceX's asking price, they look like discounts. Investing is not about finding the most exciting company. It's about paying the right price for the right business at the right time. SpaceX might be the right company. June 12th might not be the right time. And $2 trillion might not be the right price. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. And right now, the market is offering you extraordinary value in companies that are already profitable, if you know where to look. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing in this video constitutes financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor. Always do your own research and consult a qualified professional before making any investment decisions. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Now do me 3 things. First, smash that like button. Seriously, it helps more than you know. Second, subscribe and hit the bell. We're doing this kind of breakdown every week, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Third, drop a comment below. Are you buying SpaceX on day 1? Or are you waiting for the correction? Let me know. I read every single one. I'm Alex Carter, and I'll see you in the next.